Hi everyone, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to make a quick batch of single layer cards using 3 of the new stencils from A Colorful Life Designs. This first one is called Tracks, this one is called Marked Lines, and the final one that I'm going to be using today is Acoustic Waves. Now these are just 3 of several new stencils in the shop for the February release, so be sure to check out the rest. And I did spray these with pixie spray to hold them in place on my card base as I create these backgrounds. Now here's a photo of the finished card. Do stick around and I'll show you some other photos at the end of them individually, but overall these are very simple in design, and this is a great way to really build up your stash, whether that's just for you to send out or for you to donate, or even make really good gift sets if that's something that you like to give to your loved ones. So this is an opportunity for me to clean my blending brushes. The residual ink on these is definitely from my little Catherine Pooler mini ink pads, but since I want the backgrounds to be kind of subtle in the design, I'm not actually going to use ink pads. I'm just going to use the blending brushes with the ink that's left over on them. And these are blending brushes from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and the stand as well as the clips that I'm using are from a small business on Etsy called Make It by Marco. So as you can see, the pixie spray is doing an awesome job of holding down these slats on the stencil so that they don't shift around as I ink blend. And then these are actually really strong magnets that are holding the whole thing down. So the card base as well as the stencil and everything are being held down directly on my magnetized glass board that I got from Glassboard Studios. Now this is really cool. I'm just going to kind of tone it down a little bit further again with some more residual ink. And this is just a way to make the white not stand out quite as much. And I want to create kind of a vignette look, so that's why you can see I'm just going around the outer edge of the card base and coming in with some teal just to really bring the eye to the center of the card where it's lighter. So basically what I'm going to do to show you my batching process, I'm going to do the stenciling on all 3 card bases, and then I'll move on to the next step. So now I'm moving on to marked lines, and I'm just using my brayer to press that down directly into the card base to really help hold it down. And this one I'm just kind of working with a few different colors, kind of purples and grays I think I did on this one. It looks very light, you can't really see it very well on the film, but it will show when I pull it off. So just kind of working around the card base here and figuring out which colors I want to use as I go. So here I'm bringing in the purple, and I really like these colors together. This might be my favorite in this set. And you will see I do some stamping as well just to kind of tie the design together. It's a fun way to use your outline stamps, like if you have floral stamps but you don't feel like coloring them. I love to do this to create my own background with a gorgeous stencil, and then I just do my stamping right on top of it. So it still has color and it still has texture and visual interest, but I don't necessarily have to color in my outline stamps if I don't want to. Now this one finally is the Tracks stencil. Again, I'm just pushing it down with my brayer and then coming in with a different selection of blending brushes just to create the color on this. Now this one I wanted to do kind of pinks, and then I grabbed my brown blending brush. There wasn't a lot of ink on that one. I don't have a lot of residual to lay down on this, so I do end up kind of coming back in with a third color just to cover the entire card front. So I'm putting some purple in the center right over that strip of pink, and then on the the 2 corners as well. And I really love how that one turned out. So just toning down the white a little bit, just like on the other ones, but still have that nice pretty background. Now here are the 3 stamps. I have this one from My Favorite Things. I believe it's Poppies. I will link any of the products that are still available in the video description box below if you expand and scroll down. Then I have this one from Simon Says Stamp and this other one from Concord and Ninth. And I'm just figuring out which one I want to use with which card base. And then I will get out my Misty and get to some simple stamping. So here I'm just putting the stamp right off the side of the card base, and that'll kind of give it the illusion of going off the edge of the card, which is a nice design trick for your cards. And I'm just going to stamp it with this rich black pigment ink, It is Versifying Clair Nocturne, and I stamp it a couple times just to make sure it's nice and crisp, and then I'll set it aside to let it dry while I work on the next card. Now this does take a while to dry because it's pigment, so be sure not to stick your finger in it. If you want, you could heat set it with your heat tool or even coat it with some clear embossing powder if you want to give it a little bit of a shiny edge to it. So this one is huge. It's massive. It's almost like bigger than an A2 size card front. So this one I really have kind of going over the edge of the card base. And this one I wanted to do horizontal orientation. So just going to stamp this down. This Concord 9th one has a little bit thicker of a line weight. And those really cool lines throughout the drawing on the petals. Now this one, you can see it's well loved. It's one of my favorite stamps of all times, and I do actually end up using the sentiments on all 3 cards from that stamp set as well. So if you're not familiar with this, this is from Simon Says Stamp, and it is gorgeous. So you get that huge floral stamp, you get some individual flowers if you want to build your own bouquet, and then you get all those really pretty scripty sentiments as well. So same thing, I'm just kind of going over the edge. Now I'm going to bring them back in and pick what sentiments I want for each. So this one I'm going to use the sympathy sentiment. It nestles in perfectly into the composition, and this one is a thinking of you. Same thing, it kind of fits in that nice open space in the lower right portion of the composition. And then finally on this one that I have turned horizontal orientation, I'm going to make this a happy birthday card. So I think it says happiest of birthdays to you. So stamp this again with that same black ink. It's a nice ink to use for any fine detail, anything with little tiny letters. It's a really good ink for that. So here are the photos, but do stick around. I'll show you the finished cards at the very end. All I did was add a little bit of blingage, and that's it. They're very simple, single layer, easy to ship. So like I said, these would be great to give as a gift for a little gift set. You can mix up the sentiments like I did, so they'll have, you know, a variety to send to their loved ones, or these are just great for everyday use or for batching. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing, and do be sure to check out the rest of the release at A Colorful Life Designs. I do have a coupon, AmyFan10. You'll save 10% on your complete order, and there is also a master creator bundle. If you want the entire collection, you can get that for 20% off, but you can't use my coupon on top of that because it's already so discounted. But all those details are below, and I appreciate you spending time with me. I'll catch you next time. Bye.